Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of G for G Games for Gamers. I'm your host, Napalm Dawn, and we are here for the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. It is the first full week of March, and today is Friday, March 6th, and this week's episode is I got 99 tacos and Deadpool 8-1. So yeah, let's get going with the content for the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. The background soundtrack is brought to you this episode by the 8-bit remix edition. A link will be up in the description. So before we get going, I'm going to go ahead and pop over to my trading completed and pick up old Juggy Puggy. So there's a fight in World of Warcraft currently called Hans and Franz, where one of the guys picks up the current tank and hits the other tank with the tank that was picked up. And every time that happens, I can't help but think of, oh, hit you with your old pimp from I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. So yeah, trained up my Juggernaut to just basically get a Bruiser going. I've been working on Enchantress and Thorse. Look at my Thorse. My Thorse is amazing. Give it a lick, it tastes just like lightning. So Beta Ray Bill is 7. And Enchantress is a fairly high 6. I was expecting to use her on the stupid Magic Daily, but it wasn't counting her. From what I've heard, it is supposedly fixed. I mean, she is obviously a magic user. She's certainly not tech. But supposedly she is fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and try that out while we talk about the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. Let's get Doom in there. He was getting up there. So I've been saving for you guys the taco task. Basically took me about 2 days of it. There are certain heroes that you are kind of go-to heroes for when you want to use multiple hits to force an item to drop. Squirrel Girl is one of them. Scarlet Witch also does a fantastic job. Quicksilver does a fantastic job. X-23. There's a lot of people who do it. For me today, it's been a lot of Scarlet Witch. Magic has been in there. Loki has also helped out. I was really expecting to use Enchantress, but it just didn't let me do it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the second part, which is only 5 minutes. Now, initially, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, this suit looks like it sucks. First of all, I'm disappointed it is not the fist generation, it's a trench. And I saw that it was a generalist, and it had one slot, and I was like, oh, wow, there's not even a passive for it. Little did I know, until I looked on the wiki, that it actually does have a passive, and whereas the current, quote-unquote, free generalist suit gives you that stamina boost, this one clears debuffs once every 4 rounds. So for people who don't have a cube, or didn't get the weather control device, or haven't gotten a scroll to drop yet, it is somewhat handy. The only thing is that it is only for the agent, and it has an immense cooldown. People are basically considering the other suit good for PvE, and this suit will be very good in PvP. I would actually suspect this one would also be good in PvE when you were fighting bosses or group bosses that do a lot of debuffs. Speaking of things and all like that, PvP and PvE, here's where I am on the second of 3 tasks for the Destroyer. I have 10 more battles to do. And as you can see, I already have 5 current quests. I need to get 4 stars of mastery in Spec Ops 1 and 2. I've got it in 3. We're doing that. There's Destroyer. Blade's got to get leveled. And Hulk has to be used a few times. So on my collections for Unbreakable, which is the Destroyer, I've got 3 covers left. And I've got 5 out of the way over here, so this is looking pretty good. Tomorrow I'll have another 10 to cash in. Probably get a dupe. As you can see here, the bar has got one. Destroyer, I think, is going to be really cool. Have not seen Enchantress or Thorse in PvP yet, and how that's been going has been pretty good. The offense really has not taken any losses yet. They maybe have 2 tops, possibly 3. So these guys have been doing really, really good. I fought a potentially tough team earlier today that was Heimdall and Herc, and they were using Soak, which seals in their buffs. However, that also helps my team seal in some buffs, and I did win. But actually, Molly was taken out by a little bit of an interesting Heimdall glitch. Heimdall nope-handed Molly in one of the attacks on her tantrum, and it actually completely stopped the tantrum, which was really, really odd. So she was not able to run the total gamut over there. This could be a potentially tough team if the Heroic Age Iron Fist on the other team actually did their stuff properly. Now that he put out the Neurotrope, I cannot open up with the Exhausted, unfortunately, because I'm going to get a lot of attacks in my face. But, you know what? We've got Iron Fist over here, and he is not prevented from doing counterattacks. So you know what? I'm going to risk it, because I just want to limit Luke Cage and the Agent next turn. So let's see what happens. We could get into a counter war over here, but nope, so far his Iron Fist is staying still. And we got to get one more. Okay, yeah, sure, that was a risky move, and it paid off. So now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the rest of their buffs. And Luke is going to be devoted to just sharding himself. There it is. Here's the shard. Molly's going to get up the taunt. And Heroic Age Iron Fist is going to go ahead and clear my debuffs. And we're going to be set now. Now we can't be exhausted. We won't bleed out anymore. So I had a slightly rough one with a Pesty Beast. And Red Hulk, who got his Bulwark off. Actually, was consistently getting his Bulwark off. However, I was still able to beat them. And that is mostly because of that Emerald Fist. Here's what happened on that. I went to go... I threw the van, which of course was not blocked, but, you know, I still suffered the damage from it. And it was heavy. I mean, it was one of those, like, 5-hit absorb energies that was going on. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. So she threw the van. And then I went to just go attack him, but because the Agent had a protector suit, the Agent stepped in and took the hit away from Red Hulk, which means she was not absorbed. Thanks to the Emerald Prism, she was able to gain an attacker stack so that by the time I was actually working on Red Hulk, I one-shotted him. So I didn't really have to worry about Red Hulk absorbing me to death. And that is where this team works out, like, really, really well. If you got a target that you're scared of, just attack other people until she's ramped up. So, here she is at a 3,224 attack. And we'll see what it looks like when she is down to her last hit. Alright. Nothing to write home about there. Big crit. I love when scrappers are around and Molly's going. She just wrecks face. Alright, so I'm going to hit Luke Cage once. And let's go ahead and see what she's going to end the battle with. She's going to end it up close to 5k. And there we go. That's how easy it is with this team. And hopefully the suit will be done. So basically, you know, when you're doing PvP and everything, you want to get your 5 out of the way in a day. But you also want to play to counter your losses so that when you start the next day, you're trying to dig yourself out of less of a hole than you would think. Plus, you know, your energy regens over the day, don't waste it. So like this one over here, yeah, I had my 5 of the day. I'm not going to gain any bonus things, but, you know, catching as many losses as I can and countering them before I go to sleep is, of course, a good thing. So the research is completed. So let's pull that up. Ta-da! Generalist empowered. Trench is opened up. Man, I'm stuffed. Got any more? Oh, and before I forget, I got a nifty code to give out. One of my pockets for a free comic. I know it's in here somewhere. So, you can keep clicking, but it ain't gonna speed it up. Might be in my back pocket. So many pockets. It's like trying to find my car keys. You know, you could have just clicked the get code button to skip this. Alright. Input the code Secret Wars. Free tacos. Now he wants more, and he's skipping it. Yeah. Marvel.com redeemed Secret Wars, and I've picked it up from Mr. Striped Pecs over here. So, we have the Spec Ops winding down. We also have PvP winding down. PvP's got about 2 weeks left, and the Spec Ops has about a week and a couple days. I've got my 4 stars over there. And, you know, I've done a lot of my research stuff, like I have the Flaming Sword and the Axe, but I really haven't gotten any good drops yet. And I haven't gotten my Mega ISOs yet, either. I usually either get one. I'm either lucky on the drops, or I'm lucky on getting a crate of like 1,000 ISOs. Let's see if we can pop into the daily over here and see if they allowed us to use Enchantress yet. So I was using Scarlet Witch before, but I was not using Doctor Strange. I was bouncing between Loki and Satana. So let's pop over all the way to the end, and no! She is still not available. I think that is so ridiculously stupid. But we'll go ahead and we'll get Loki back because Loki is leveling. And I need to go ahead and change up my agent's gear slightly because I just pounded on a friend of mine's Scrapper Surtur. Alright, so we're going to gain the Splinter of Night. We are going to gain the Mark of the Brotherhood. Oh, that's right. You can't do the stupid type ahead on the full screen. But at least my icons are loaded today. Mostly. Let's see. Should be around here somewhere. You know, the bugs in full screen are annoying as hell. Alright, so I think... there it is. There's the Mark of the Brotherhood. And let's see, what else do I want to pick up? Could pick up the Cosmic Flame. I could pick up the big old Possessed Pistol over here. And, you know, there is something very interesting. The Splinter of Night will follow up even AoE attacks if the person has the Dark Void on them. Could go with the Savage Tunnel. I honestly would like to use the, you know what, yeah, whatever. I'll pick that up for now. So Mark of the Brotherhood is really good with Scarlet Witch because it allows you to use her buffs as a quick action without giving any kind of ISOs to her to make that happen. So you can basically set her up with her personal ISOs and use the Mark of the Brotherhood to get around it and give her a buff. So on Loki, I'm going to start off with Hall of Mirrors. And we do have a Tactician over here. So we want to get rid of him early and exhaust him to protect Scarlet Witch. Now remember, he has Darkest Void, so the Splinter of Night may even follow up on this attack. Alright, it didn't, but I actually have seen it happen. So what I'm going to do now is get Dark Void out on somebody else. See these bugs here in full screen? I mean, this guy's just basically like, hey. Hey, buddy. I'm hanging with your team. You guys seem cool over here. Everybody over here seems all African Outback. I don't want to be in the African Outback anymore. I want to hang with you cool chicks. Speaking of cool chicks, your little Scarlet Witch over there looks like a stripper. I like to hang out with her. So here we can see Chaos Shield is going to be a quick action because of War. Maybe I didn't cast it? Oh, that's weird. Maybe I didn't use it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead with Trickster Seal. And that'll take away some of their buffs. Smack the artillery guy with a Soulfire to get rid of that covered a little bit. Alright, so we'll make sure we do Mark of the Brotherhood this time. And give myself the extra attack. Make sure that Tactician stays exhausted. And there comes that retaliation again. Get out another Dark Void. Splinter Knight has some really good synergy with Loki over here. Because of his ability to spam that out. I find it odd that the Soulfire Dagger has a cooldown, but none of his other ones do. It's like, okay, is Soulfire so OP that you want to put a cooldown on it? Bully! So here we go, we could get a lot of tacos from that attack. Not that we need them anymore. But that is a it is an AoE and it's a multi-hit ability, so it's really good for that. I would have picked up the Crooked Branch for this battle. However, trying to find it with no type ahead and half-loading icons, it just wasn't really worth it. So, alright, we're gonna do the bleedy one this time because we don't have any tacticians over here. And you know what? Bleeding out is always good. We'll do another rally because Scarlet Witch's abilities are gonna be opened up this round. And we're gonna have to proc the tactical suit, recharge for some stamina. And I'm gonna go ahead and smack that Bruiser. See, there's that pre-counter for Hex Spears, which is nice. And get a free taco out of the deal. And over here, Probability Field's going to be a quick action. And it doesn't look like anybody got Power 4. That's always really scary when she puts Power 4 on somebody. And you're like, oh, come on, really? It's powerful, but it could certainly hurt if you're not really prepped for it. So here we go with the Soulfire Dagger. No real need to use any of his other abilities because it's just going to wipe people out. She's like a stripper version of the Cube. Honestly, speaking of her, you know, I don't like the Scarlet Witch that they're going to have in the new Avengers. She doesn't do it for me. She doesn't look the part. The footage that I've seen of her, I don't like that Quicksilver. I don't like that Scarlet Witch. I really like Days of Future Past Quicksilver way better than I like the one that is in the new Avengers movie. I just don't like either one of those two. So here for the Bruiser Surtur, I'm going to show you guys what I use on the Bruiser version. A fun little team up over there. It's Team Up the Irons. It was one of my most original PvP teams back in the day. So we're gonna get Iron Fist, we're gonna get Iron Man, and let's see here. If the icons load, we should be in good shape. There's a few things that I need for this. One of them is the Rectifier. One of them will be the Chitter Chatter Box. I think I have already passed the Rectifier based on the gear that I'm seeing here. Alright, so we want to get the rectifier. We want to go ahead and get the chitter chatter box. Or you could use the AoE flanked book. I'm not going to pick that up because that is not a quick action. So there's chitter chatter. The other thing I can pick up is Baltag's blaster because of the gamma. So, oh yes, I need to change suits so that I get that nice little stamina bonus over here. So there is the new generalist empowered trench. As you can see, it is the trench style, sort of like that Bruiser's Aegis, Tactician's power armor, the reinforced trench, so on and so forth. I thought it would be a generalist version of this, the fist generation. That's kind of what I was expecting out of it. So, let me show you what this team does, since you've seen my Molly and Heroic Iron Fist team. You might think, gee, why Iron Fist with Iron Man? Kind of doesn't make sense. One's melee, one's energy and range. It makes sense because you can prevent the debuffs. Huh, this one kind of sounds very Metroid-ish, doesn't it? Oh, it would be nice if it loads. It's kind of like watching a Windows bar over there. 2 minutes remaining, 10 minutes remaining, 5 minutes remaining. Ooh. You know what? I'm not going to do this in the first round because I want Iron Man to get at least one ability out to make his restoration of stamina actually worth it. Okay, so now we get to use the rectifier. We're going to set up the flanked for maximum damage and free follow-ups, and we are going to do the radiation exposure. There's that energy rebound, and then there's the follow-up brawl. Pretty peppy attack over there. And he is disabled, but he's not exhausted. That is one of the things that can hurt my PvP team up, is when I'm exhausted, Iron Fist does not work out very well. So, alright, here we go with the second stack of Heartbreaker. And already, he is in lockbox mode. And we're going to go ahead and get out that nice bleedy ice. And I'm going to go ahead and proc the suit to get Iron Man's stamina back. This timing, see, now he's at full stamina. By the time Iron Fist is ready to go, he'll be needed. There's that nice, healthy energy rebound, of course. I find the Infiltrator version dodges a lot of stuff. I hate the Infiltrator version for that. But, you know, I use Warriors 3 on the Tactician version. The Infiltrator version, Hogun and Volstagg work out pretty well, but honestly, I think it's one of my weaker ones to fight. Could probably go Hogun Sabretooth. That should work out pretty well. And there's that beefy Unibeam for the put away. So there you go, folks. There's the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. Hope everybody's doing good in PvP. You've seen my team. You've seen one of my asserters. We've seen the suit. On sale right now. Yeah, let's discuss what we've got on sale. We have the gold weapon for the Spec Ops. We had the Warbringer axe, which I hope people purchased if they had the money for it. Very, very good item. And now we have the Coulson's Revenge to go with the other Coulson's gun. So, yeah, that could be phenomenal right there. So, hope everybody is enjoying the weekend. And I'm Napalm Don signing off for another episode of the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. Take care, everybody.